Hello there. Recently I went to the York Railway Museum, and it was a really nice day out, and obviously I took a lot of pictures. It's mostly going to be a slideshow with the odd bit of voiceover, really. So, please enjoy. This is Furness Railway number 3. Now, she's quite interesting. She was built in 1846, and when she was retired at about the turn of the century, it was decided that she should be preserved. And she was on display for, several years at Barrow and Furness Station, I believe. However, she was hit quite badly during the bombing during the Second World War, and she still shows several of her scars to this day. This is the surviving Stirling single, which I'm guessing many of you might recognise her as Emily from Thomas and Friends. Here is the rebuilt Merchant Navy class Ellerman lines. Now, she has been sectioned to show the internal workings of a steam locomotive. This is the 9F Evening Star, which is quite famously the last mainline locomotive built in Britain. There was a Class 40 on the turntable, and the Class 40 is actually my favourite diesel. There was the Stephenson's rocket replica, built in 1934, which has also been sectioned. This is the surviving Q1. Now, her tender has been removed just to make some space in the museum, and I believe it's in storage in the yard. This is Aerolite, and she was originally built in 1869, and she has been extensively rebuilt over the years. She's quite an interesting locomotive, a very good looking one. I'd love to see somebody make a model of this. This is a Lancashire and Yorkshire Class 5. Now, it's got quite a curious wheel arrangement as a 242, and I just posted a review of the Bachmann model of this. This is the sole surviving Stania 4P, and it's a very large tank engine. This is one of the locos I was really excited to see. It's one of the Festiniog Railway's double Fairleys. This is a Southern Railway 4 sub, later identified as a British Railways Class 405, and was actually able to get a photo of this loco's interior. They had one of the Great Western streamlined rail cars on display, which that was another loco I was able to cross off my list of locos I wanted to see. The sole surviving Great Western Star class Lodestar is on display, and you can actually walk in the inspection pit underneath this locomotive. This loco is called Bauxite, and she's quite interesting because she's undergoing something called conservation rather than preservation. So more or less nothing has changed since she was withdrawn. From what I understand from the video the Railway Museum did on her, she's just got a protective coat of varnish on her. Tucked behind the Class 47 was one of the 2 surviving BT Well tanks. She's not really out in the open, and I imagine she's probably quite easy to miss if you're just walking around. Mallard stands proudly on display. You can actually go up a set of stairs and have a look in her cab. Mallard was coupled up to a dynamometer car, which is used to monitor the engine's speed and performance, And you can also have a look at this coach's interior. Standing next to Mallard was her rival from the LMS, Duchess of Hamilton, which is a coronation class. She was coupled up to one of her coaches, and you can also have a look in her interior. Rather curiously, a section of Duchess of Hamilton's unstreamlined cab was just tucked away behind some shelving at the side. Standing next to Duchess of Hamilton was the Aganoria, a very, very different locomotive, and it does make quite the contrast seeing these two together. There was a set of wheels and axles from one of the Blenkinsop locomotives from the Middleton Railway. This was quite surprising. I didn't know anything from the Blenkinsop locomotives survived. There was a Class 76 on display. There was a Class 43 on display. I have quite fond memories of these in service. I remember going down to London on one of them. One of the Eurostar locomotives was on display. This is the surviving South Eastern and Chatham Railway D-Class. This is a Stephenson's long boiler locomotive. Now, there is a somewhat similar Stephenson's long boiler tank engine on display at the Stephenson Steam Railway. There was a BR Class 20, which is my second favourite diesel. When I was looking at the nameplates on the wall, I noticed Spitfire, and I remembered that Spitfire had been involved in an accident, and I've just been reading about it. It was the Lewisham railway crash, and it was the third worst wreck in British history, with 90 killed. I had a look at the model railway display, and it's a very nice layout. I believe it's O gauge. And there are some chocolate eggs in one of the wagons because I went at Easter. Above the cafe, there is a large version of one of Terence Cunio's paintings. Now, I spent a bit of time trying to look for the mouse in this, because he would sneak a mouse into all of his paintings, I think, but I couldn't find it. Just for reference, I will show a print I have of one of his paintings, where the mouse is sat on a fence post. Flying Scotsman was on display, and while I was in the line for that, I had a lovely chat with another railway enthusiast. I did bring up I had a YouTube channel, and I think he had a look at it, so if you're watching now, you know who you are. You can have a look in Flying Scotsman's cab, and there's a nice picture showing the corridor tender. Flying Scotsman was coupled up to a teak coach. Try saying that 3 times fast. Please do excuse the fact that my photograph is a little blurry. but the railway enthusiast I was chatting with actually pointed out that the Henry Oakley was just in the workshop at the side. There was this lovely chrome model of an A4. There was also a model of Big Bertha. Overall, I had a really nice day out. And it's the end of the video now, so I'd like to say that if you haven't already subscribed, then please do consider it. It helps my channel out. But now, thank you for watching. Goodbye for now. Ta-ta.